White is up 2 knights in this position. However, white is the one begging for a draw because there is an issue here. This pawn is running towards promotion, and black is also threatening to just sidestep their king and promote on the next move. So stick around, this is going to be a very interesting puzzle. First, if we decide to capture here, well, that doesn't work. The king simply sidestep to e1 and they are threatening to promote on the next move, and there's just no way from stopping that pawn from promoting, and checkmate is just coming in a few moves. Capturing here doesn't work, so the way we draw the game is to go knight to d4, and this move comes with a lot of defensive idea. Notice something. If black decide to push the pawn forward, we are going to capture, and we are going to explore that in details very soon. And if black decide to proceed with their initial plan of just sidestepping and promoting on the next move, we deliver a check here, and notice something. Black is left with few options. Play a move like this, move into the square, or simply move back into the square. Moving back into the square doesn't make sense because we simply capture here and the game simply ends in a stalemate as black is left with no legal move. And if black moves into the square, well, then comes this check. We can't move that knight away, so black simply capture here and they are threatening to promote on the next move, and they are saying, bro, how are you stopping that? And it looks like there's no way we can stop that. So what do we play here? We play this stunning and brilliant knight sacrifice on e2. And what's the idea behind this move? The idea behind this move is that if black decide to capture here, well, our king is left with no legal move and the game ends in a stalemate. If they proceed to promote to a queen, well, we'll simply come back here and that comes with a check on the opponent's king. And if the king moves away, the game simply ends in a draw because our knight is pinned, so we can't move our knight, and our king is left with no legal move, so that will just be a draw by stalemate. And if black decide to capture here, well, we simply recapture, and this is just a completely equal end game as there's no way to get our king away from this square and the game ends in a draw. So instead of going here, what if black decide to play a move like this? Well, this is even more interesting because now they are threatening to promote on the next move. What do we do here? We capture here with a check. So black simply goes to c2. They are threatening to pick up our knight, and they are also threatening to promote on the next move. And it looks like there's no way to stop this pawn because we can't move our king close to the pawn. And if we go into the square, the king simply captures. So what do? Well, we proceed to go into the square because that's the only move. Now we are controlling the promotion square with this knight. And if black decide to capture here, well, that's even losing because we come in here with a check, pick up this pawn, and we'll be left with a completely winning position. So black has to capture here, and after the capture here, then come this check, and it's a fork on the king and the pawn, and on the next move we pick up the pawn and the game ends in a stalemate. So after knight to d4, what if black decide to push their pawn forward? Because that line is actually very tricky as well. If they decide to push the pawn forward, well, we grab the pawn, and in this position, notice something. Is black to move, our knight is controlling this square, so this is the only square available for the king. So black is forced to move into this square, and now black is simply threatening to move into the square, promote to a queen, and deliver checkmate. So what do we do here? Well, we give them this check, and black is left with some options here. They can play a move like this, but playing a move like this simply loses because if black decide to play a move like this, we come in here with a check, and that's just a fork on the king and the pawn. We pick up the pawn and we'll be left with a completely winning position as we have an extra knight. And what if black decide to play a move like this? Well, this one is also very tricky. Well, then comes this move, and notice something. This knight is actually controlling the promotion square of the king. So what can black do here? If black decide to capture here, well, that's completely lost because we come in here with a check, that's a fork, and we pick up the pawn on the next move. So black is left with few other options. Move into the square, move into the square. All those moves do not make any sense and they even lose the game. If black decide to move into the square now, for instance, we simply come in here, we are attacking this pawn and we'll be winning the pawn on the next move. If black decide to still play this move, well, we still come in here, we are attacking the pawn and we win the pawn on the next move, and with an extra knight in this end game, white will be completely winning. So black is forced to capture here. Well, then comes this check, and on the next move we pick up the pawn and the game ends in a stalemate. Follow for more videos like this.